This video right here is for all those that need inspiration through the struggle. Sometimes we're going to be facing challenges and we want to do everything to get back at a situation, or you want to try to do anything in your power to retaliate or change the situation or circumstance. Sometimes you just gotta stand still. You know? I'm learning that sometimes you don't even gotta fight the battle. Sometimes it's already won. A lot of times it's gonna feel dark. But the more that you try to sit there and put it in your own hands, you're gonna make more of a mess of it. But if you can put it in God's hand, it's always gonna work out better. I'll give you an example. Recently, I just went through something that there's a lot going on. There's times I wanted to react, but I didn't. I kind of just had to step back and hold my peace. God taught me something out of that. Sometimes God has a way of humbling us when we're going through things. We want to put it in our hand, but sometimes the best way to handle a matter is to give it to God. We can always learn from our circumstances. God never gonna put more on us than we can bear. Sometimes that battle, right, when you win it, it's gonna feel a little crazy. It might be challenging. You might see a way that you know is not the right way, but you feel like it's the best payback, or it's the best way to approach the situation. That's when we gotta stop and pause. You know, sometimes as Christians we're not perfect, but we gotta lean on His understanding, not ours. And I'm learning that every day. I'm learning that sometimes the circumstances is better when you just leave it alone. You know, I recently had a situation where I was really frustrated. Could have did some things that could have really landed me in a bigger problem than what I wanted. At the moment I thought, you know, these options was great. These options look beneficial to help the situation, but in all reality, it wasn't the best situation, and it wasn't for me to approach the situation. I had to step back, even though I didn't understand it. You know, it was a battle, and sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us. So sometimes we gotta just fall back. And I think that's what God is teaching me. He's teaching me that sometimes His grace is sufficient. You know, we don't understand the circumstances sometimes, but sometimes the best way is just to sit back. You know, people do us wrong. We just learn from their mistake. Because a lot of times what goes around comes around. And that's what I'm understanding. Sometimes certain circumstances, situations, is only going to bring us wisdom if we follow the right steps. So if you can learn anything, always just give it to God. And I guess that's the message. Just give it to God, you know? Alright, my people be blessed.